Hello everyone, I'm Christine of Mail Something Pretty, and I want to show you how to make this fun allium card. I love alliums. I actually don't have them in my garden yet, but I'm going to buy some bulbs this year and plant them because I've had them in the past and I just think they're beautiful. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I made them out of the Wildflower designs, the stamp set and the coordinating die set, and these dies are just fabulous. You get different shapes, and you also get the outlines for each of the flowers, but these shapes are fun, so that's what I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I'm going to put those aside. The first thing I'm going to do is actually give a little wash, a watercolor wash to the background, so that can, well, so it can dry, although I do have one that's already already dried. So what I did is I've already pre-cut my pieces, but this is kind of what I want to show you. So 2 out of the 3 dies, so the 2 larger ones, these 2, cut both the frame, the outline, the frame part, and the insert at the same time. So you really get 2 pieces. And so this is actually the other one. So this is that one, and the larger one looks like this. So you can use pieces together, you can use them separate, you can kind of crisscross them, you can do lots and lots of things with them. So it's kind of cool. So I want to show you that. And then this one is just the shape plus there's little dots, little like kind of stitching, and that can fit really nicely in there. So you can actually kind of nest them all together, just like I had here. I'll show you again. It's a great bundle. It's one I really like. So you could even use them all together, use them separate, use 2, whatever you like. All right, so the first thing, put that aside, we are going to take, here it is. I'm going to use fresh freesia, and I can use either I can squeeze it together from the bottom. You're going to kind of squeeze it really good with your thumbs, and you can see you can get a little bit there, and I actually don't need tons. Or I can just put a dot or more. Again, I'm just making 1 card, so I don't need a lot. In the tray, sometimes they call it the reservoir, and I'm just going to add a little water just so it's not too dark. And I'm going to use, these are called water painters, and you actually get 3. I only have 2 here for this project. You get this really wide brush, and that's what I'm going to use, and then you get 2 different sized pointed brushes. So I will use that one in a moment. So just kind of like painting. And I'm just going to wash it. And I've brought back, for those of you who watch me, I brought back my glass mat. I was using it during January and February during Celebration, and I stopped using it because we couldn't sell it, or it wasn't available anymore. But beginning in July, so this is of 2024, anyone can buy one. So that's really exciting. So I brought it back, and we'll be using it more. And so I did it right here, and I can just even wash anything there, but actually I'm going to let that dry right on the paper towel. Or actually, no, I'm going to show you a trick. Where am I going to dry this? I have a napkin. Just leave it there. Let that dry. You can, if you have too much in there, you can even just take a paper towel and soak it up if you don't want to close it with all that water in there. So it's kind of good. All right, but I'm actually going to leave that little dot there because we're going to use it. So I'm just going to use this one that already dried. And you can see this one kind of pulled up, but I kind of like that versus these 2 are a little bit more subtle. This one's definitely subtle. So we're going to stamp. Let's see, we're going to stamp right on there. So when I got this set, I immediately thought this is an allium. Now it says wildflowers. I don't know if an allium is a wildflower, but who knows? So you can interpret these flowers to be other types of flowers. So certainly that could be a dandelion. It can be any other type of like ball-headed flower. And this one looks to me like Queen Anne's lace, or even dill has a similar flower, or fennel. I don't know, you can interpret the flowers, but I interpreted this one as an allium, which are purple, which is what made me do purple, although they have white ones too. So I'm using my StazOn, and I forgot to tell you that this is watercolor paper. You could probably tell that by how it absorbed it, but it is watercolor paper, so it's nice and thick and absorbs the water. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my the pointed brush, water painter. You can use, at this point, you could use Stampin' Write markers, you could use blends markers, you could use watercolor pencils, you could do whatever you want to color in, or you can leave it alone because it's pretty by itself. Just going to add just a little bit of water because I don't want this too dark. There we go. Just pull in a little water. I don't want it too dark or too wet. And oh no, a little darker. And so you can just color right on top of those bulbs. And I'm just going to do it quickly because this is a video. But you can do it quick, you could do it slow. Some of them are like closed little flowers, some of them are open, but I just want it to kind of stand out. You can also use your stamp pad as a little palette you can pick up, but the reinkers will give you a darker color. All right, and now that will dry. All right, so I'm just gonna set that whole thing aside. And I'm gonna put a little green with a stem. So this one, actually, you can also use, so you can use the aqua painters that I showed you. You can also use blender pens. And so this is, you just pick up the ink directly. It has, I don't really know what's inside of the pen, but it picks up the ink really nice and you can use that to color. And then what I do is I just run it clear on a scrap piece of paper, which I'll just use this one. And that's how I clean these ones. I'll actually make sure that both sides were clean. So we're gonna let that sit to dry. Probably, let's see, I'm just trying to find a safe place to let it to sit to dry. Over there. Close my water. So I'm going to get my machine out to emboss. All right, move these. And I didn't even tell you, this is Bubble Bath and this is Fresh Freesia. I think they both look really pretty together. And then I used this is vanilla and black ribbon. I almost called it twine and I was going to call it yarn and it wasn't either of those. All right, so this one I'm going to make Bubble Bath. I use this, it's actually worn off here, but it's the Distressed Tile Embossing Folder. So what I was showing at Club is what I used to do when I embossed a card front. I have it scored, so it's a regular card size. I would line up the score mark with the edge of my, or even just inside the edge of the embossing folder, and then put it through carefully. I normally like to put the fold through, but you just can't with this style card, and I can actually kind of see that this is starting to break away a little bit, and so that does happen sometimes. But what I discovered, a little much easier, I don't know why I never did this before, if you line up your score line with these edges, you can see exactly, because it's like a little piece on the edging that doesn't have the embossing. It's like, you know, just an edge, and so I want the whole card front to have that look. So if you just line up the score mark with that edge and then just close it, then you know it's in the right spot. All right. So I'm just gonna run this through. This is a 3D folder, so I'm going to use my gray plate. So like I said, I normally like to put the folded side through, but it just won't work. So I have to do it this way. And it is starting to break a little bit on that side because I've done this quite a lot. I will just put some tape there to kind of save it a little bit. All right. And then we have this really pretty pattern. And then I will here it is. I like using these little Pampered Chef palettes as a score mark. Okay, so that is that. And so now we need the rest of our pieces. So we have the outline to the watercolor paper. We have this is beige. So you can kind of see this is basic white and that is beige. And I'm in love with this color. It is a great neutral to use. And I'm looking to see if this is dry yet. Of course it's not. Let me see if I can pat it dry a little bit. There we go. So it's not quite as dark, but it's dry. All right, because what I wanted to show you is, because I'm using these two pieces together, there are a few different ways you could, this is going to go on here, and then we're going to have the outline. Doesn't that look pretty? Just like that, even just with a little saying right there. But I want this to fit inside. Now I could pop it up. I could pop that up, but I actually really like it when it's together. So you can flip it over. Kind of, it fits because we cut it out together. You could use like Scotch tape just to tape it closed, but you can also use tear and tape, which closes it, but also gives you a sticky edge to use to apply it. So I'm just going to put two edges down. You certainly could do all of them. Just looking for my samples. I'll show you that in a second why I'm. So you can, again, if you used regular Scotch tape, then you just put glue or your runner on there. But if you're using tear and tape, you can actually use it as an adhesive. What I found, if I can get this off, I did this, but then as things dried, you could actually see how it was separated. So what I'm going to do is just add just a little glue. Keep going for my new one. So I'm going to still add a little glue on there. And so that will keep those ends shut. This will just center right on there. I just think that's so pretty. And then this I want to put up with dimensionals. Oh, here, I'll use these ones. Because this is bumpy, the dimensionals seem to work better than gluing it flat down. That 4 should do it. Right in the middle, and that's pretty by itself, but I really think the because we use the black ink and the black and the vanilla, it's kind of the color of the watercolor paper, it kind of ties it all together. So what I'm going to do is just kind of loop it. I don't know, that's probably like six or so inches, maybe 6 or 7 inches. And it's going to go right here, but I'm going to tie a little bow with my linen thread. So what I found that's helpful to me, if I hold that ribbon down with a block, then I can, it's like a third hand, tie my bow a little bit easier. So just tie a knot, and you could leave it as a knot, tie another knot, or you can tie a bow. I'm partial to the bows with this. And then just cut it. Sorry, I forgot about that with the glass mat. It makes a little noise. And then I'm just going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to put it right there in that corner. Right here. And stick the where the bow is right on top of that glue dot. And then, oh, the one last thing, if you want, you can stamp on the inside, or you can, you know, do whatever. But since this has a similar, I don't want to, you could use the same flower, but I'm going to use a similar flower, that Queen Anne's lace, or what we think is Queen Anne's lace. And I'm just going to stamp that on the inside. So just a little something. So this can be a card for any reason, absolutely any reason, because there's no words on it. Okay, let me just close that so I don't put my hand in it, and I'll show you again the, oh, there's actually one other thing I was going to show you. During club I was using my foam pad, and it had paper wrapped around it, and I stamped on it many times. There was lots of ink on it and stuff, and I'm sure you guys have scrap paper like that. And I was coloring this with my brush, and it picked up the color underneath from my scrap paper and kind of bled the little blue, but I kind of like it. It's just a little, they're all a little bit different. So you can kind of see them all because they're all watercolored. All right, so again, that was from the Watercolor Designs. As of this filming, it is back ordered right now. I'm sorry to tell you. I've been using it a lot, and I'm sure that had nothing to do with it, but it will be back hopefully soon. And so it's a bundle that I really like, and I hope that you like it too. But if you have any questions or anything, just write them in the comments right underneath. And if you are not a subscriber to this YouTube channel, please just click subscribe, so then you'll be notified whenever I send out or upload videos. And thank you. Again, my name is Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty. Have a wonderful day.